All right, I just want to do another little note about Brendan Rodgers because this is something that's been going on all through the week. We've had an interview with Brendan Rodgers and Jamie Carragher where he's saying he's not really bitter about how he left Liverpool and stuff like that. And I think for me, he seems to be a Marmite in the Liverpool forums. All the forums that I'm part of, Brendan Rodgers seems to be a bit of a Marmite character. Like people are saying, some people say they like him, some people say he's arrogant. Me personally, I think Brendan Rodgers was a good manager for Liverpool, and I think sorry, something's in my yeah, I think he was. I think no, I think he was a good manager, and I think he was very significant and relevant when he came. And what I mean by that is when Kenny took over after we had Roy Hodgson, which I don't understand how the heck that happened. I don't know how that happened. Roy Hodgson, how the hell did he manage Liverpool? Anyway, digress. So when Brendan comes now, I remember he's taking on Suarez. He's got Sterling coming through. He's all of that. And when we and the thing was, remember, we had all the backlash from the Suarez incidents because Suarez, anyway, he's another thing. Suarez is one of them characters that just, I don't know. I actually don't know how to view him in terms of his Liverpool history. He really bites at my moral compass. And I think I'll do another video on that as well. But anyway, I'm digressing. Brendan Rodgers, right? So he comes in, and I think when he came in, we was in this transition. So we're not being seen as title contenders. People are talking crap about us in the media and stuff, and we don't have a strong squad. It's not the best squad out there. We've got Skirtle and Sacco and all those players, right? And we didn't have an identity of our playing style. Because remember, we've come out of the Rafa years where Rafa was grinding out results. Like Rafa, legend, but I didn't like the football we played under Rafa. It was just like robotic. So we had that kind of thing going on. So when Brendan comes, I didn't know much about him apart. I saw him at Reading. I just thought, who's this? Why have we got this guy? Then I saw his philosophy and his style. So I feel when he came in, he almost changed the philosophy back to how we used to play. The whole passing game, triangles, moving around and attacking. And I feel that he brought the feel-good factor back to a lot of people don't want to admit it, but I think he brought the feel-good factor back into the game with that 2013-2014 season. Like, we really thought we were going to do it. And you got to remember, the beginning of that season, no one can tell her. I always believe at the beginning of every season, Liverpool's going to win the title, right? I'm one of them optimistic fans that because the table is 0 at the beginning, I just feel you get off to a good start, you're within a shout of the title. And I think every single team in the Premier League should start like that. You should. Look what Leicester did. So when he came in, I was like, beginning of the season, we might win. We could go for the title. But my head was saying, that's not really going to happen. Then you started seeing we was there. We were there. And Suarez was playing out of his skin. Sturridge was on form. Do you remember when Sturridge was on form? That seems like a lifetime ago when Sturridge was actually popping in the goals and he was doing I'm not even doing the studge, but he was banging in the goals and he was happy. Man had fresh trim, everything. You know what I mean? Remember that? And Sturridge had all the different trims and yeah, man. I don't know what happened to him. But anyway, Sterling was there. Sterling's just coming through. You know what I mean? And the team was vibrant. You know what I mean? Yes, we knew Sacco always had a mistake in him and Skirtle, but he brought the feel-good factor back in. And that's when I first was starting to hear the song Poetry in Motion as well. When we got to like March, everyone started believing we were going to win that title, man. Anfield was rocking. We bust up Arsenal 5-1. Do you remember that? We mash up Arsenal, tear them up in the first half. So he brought that back. And I think a lot of people, a lot of fans, because of how it finished, a lot of fans are Liverpool fans are forgetting all of that and are just looking at how he finished off. He didn't finish off too well, and I think he lost the squad. He had the whole Sterling problem. He didn't handle that right. He looked like he wasn't being able to assert his authority properly. I think the way he phased Gerrard out wasn't right. That Real Madrid game was nuts when he left him on the bench. Like, there was little things that Brendan Rodgers did back then, a little less experience, remember. And I just feel his legacy is a bit unfair, I think, for how some people view him. I think he did a decent job. I'm not going to say he's a great manager, because he wasn't a great manager for us. He was good. But I think we've got to give him credit where credit's due. Do you know what I'm saying? Everyone else doesn't have to agree with me, but that's my opinion on Brendan Rodgers. I think he done really well, and his legacy would have been different had we won that game. Had we not lost that game against Chelsea. That to me, that was a career-defining moment, that Chelsea match. And he fluffed his lines. He fluffed his lines, and he didn't fluff his lines because Gerrard slipped. Let's get this clear. When we went into this match, right? I remember I was working in the city at that time. Not in the city, so I was working in Bromley. And my colleague was like, your boys are gonna do it. Your boys are gonna do it. And I said to him, nah, I've seen the fixture list, and with 2 games to go, we've got Chelsea. And I said, 3 games to go. It's Chelsea, then Palace, and I can't remember the last game. And I said to him, that Chelsea game is the one. If we cannot lose that game, I said we win the title. But I said Mourinho hates us, so he's going to set up in a way to frustrate us, and he will desperately want to win that game. But I said if we get through that, we win. And everyone and their dog knew that Mourinho is going to set up to just stifle and go on the counter. I don't know how Brendan Rodgers does not, in the training session, think about that. I just don't know why he hasn't studied it. So when the game's on now, and yeah, I think the game before, we bust up Norwich. We beat Man City. Then we beat Norwich, I think, straight after. Man City, because we beat them 3-2. You remember when Coutinho scored that goal? We were 2-0 up. Then they came back. When David Silva and them lot came back, and then we scored again, and it was 3-2. Took Man City out. Then we played Norwich and we beat them. And that's when Gerrard does the huddle thing. You know, he does the huddle thing and he's like, come on. And then he goes off. So we do that. And then it's like, Rodgers was gassed. It's like, Rodgers was like, yeah. And I'm like, come on, man. And I'm watching that game. And we're pummeling Chelsea. Pummeling Chelsea. Pummeling Chelsea. And our defenders on the halfway line. And I'm looking at this game and I'm saying, they're going to score on the counter. I swear to God I said that. I swear to God. I'm not saying it for sensationalism. They're gonna hit us on the counter. Because this is what Mourinho has set them up to do. They had Demba Ba. Do you remember that guy? Demba Ba. He doesn't even sound menacing. Demba Ba was the striker, right? And Demba Ba's just by himself. The rest of the team is all back. They didn't even play a full strength Chelsea squad. Next minute now, ball goes to Gerrard. Gerrard slips. Demba Ba scores. I knew from then it was over. And I'm the most optimistic Liverpool fan. But I thought, you know when you just know? I haven't felt that way since Michael Thomas scored that goal in 89. Like, I'm still not over it, to be honest with you. Like, but when that went in, I knew what was going to happen. So when Torres gets the ball in the 90th minute or 80th minute, and then he lays it to Willian, and they make it 2-0 in the second half. Because again, we're pummeling them. We just needed to draw the game. We didn't need to win. It was such management naivety, if that's a phrase. That's what done Rodgers. The Crystal Palace match is irrelevant. The Crystal Palace 3-3, when we're 3-0 up, that match is irrelevant. I don't count that match. That match shouldn't have happened. The Chelsea match is the one. Because when we're at Crystal Palace and we're like, oh, we're going to try and score 6 or 7 goals. I mean, are you mad? We didn't even need to do that. We just needed to win that game. Again, we just need to win that game because City had to go to Villa the next day. And them seeing us crumble, battery in their back. We've given Manchester City 2 titles. You've got to think about that, how significant that is. We'd be on our 20 right now and match up with Man United. We would have our 20. We've gave them to Manchester City. So there's 2 titles that we've given away. And this season, we just have to not do that. Yeah, we just have to not do that. But that's my thoughts on Brendan Rodgers' legacy. I just think we have to give credit where credit's due. I think he did a good job for us. Not a great manager, but definitely not crap like how people say. Do you know what I mean? So that's just my take on it. I don't know. Put your comments below. Let me know what you think about Brendan Rodgers. I think he was decent. And let's just hope he's not that good today with Leicester. Yeah. But put your comments below. Let me know what you think. Let me see if you agree with what I'm saying or if you don't agree. But I think Rodgers was cool. Yeah. Anyway, I'm out. Peace.